students, this is Harbi, your English teacher. I hope you all are well. Students, today we are going to discuss chapter number 7 of your book First Flight, and the name of the chapter is Glimpses of India. Glimpses mean momentary or partial view. So today we are going to discuss the part 1 of this chapter, that is A Baker from Goa. This chapter, A Baker from Goa, is written by Lucio Rodriguez. He was a great Konkani essayist. Subtle humor and informal narration are essential features of his writings, and this chapter, A Baker from Goa, highlights these features. The narrator had become very nostalgic while talking about his childhood days. He tells us about the Portuguese influence on Goa. He also tells us about the traditional family work, that is baking bread. He further tells us that how in his childhood days he used to wait for the baker, and he mentions about the lifestyles of the bakers as well. A Baker from Goa revolves around the relevance of a baker in the Goan culture, which dates back to the time when Portuguese ruled over the city of Goa. So this chapter describes about the baker of Goa village who even in these days enjoys an important place in his society. Let us read the text. Our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically. Reminiscing mean remembering, nostalgically mean thinking fondly of the past, about those good old Portuguese days, the Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. So the narrator is talking about his elders. He says that he often heard his elders remembering nostalgically about the Portuguese days and their famous loaves of bread. Those eaters of loaves might have vanished, but the makers are still there. The narrator says that the people who used to eat those loaves of bread might have passed away, but the people who used to make those loaves of bread are still there. We still have amongst us the mixers, the molders, and those who bake the loaves. Further, the narrator says that all the equipments regarding the making of the bread are still there, and the people who make the bread they are also found these days. Those age old, time tested furnaces still exist. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. So he says that those age old equipments for baking of the bread still exist. They are all very old, they are time tested, that is, they have stayed for a long time without any damage. So all those instruments regarding baking are still there. He also says that the furnaces are still burning and the fire has not yet been extinguished. Extinguished mean put off. The thud and jingle of the traditional baker's bamboo heralding his arrival in the morning can still be heard in some places. So, narrator further says that the sound of their arrival and the thud of the bamboo stick can be still heard just like the olden time. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. These bakers are even today known as pader in Goa. So he says that the father, the baker who used to come long time ago in the olden days, maybe he is not there, but the tradition is carried out by his children. So even today in Goa, these Portuguese bakers are called pader. During her childhood in Goa, the baker used to be her friend, companion, and guide. He used to come at least twice a day. Once when he set out in the morning on his selling round, and then again when he returned after emptying his huge basket. The jingling thud of his bamboo woke us up from the sleep, and we ran to meet and greet him. Why was it so? Was it for the love of the loaf? Not at all. The loaves were bought by some Pasquine or Bastine, the names of the maidservants, the maidservant of the house. But what we longed for were those bread bangles which we chose carefully. Sometimes it was sweet bread of special make. So, the narrator recalls that the baker acted as their friend and companion during their childhood days in Goa. The baker used to visit twice a day, once while he was on round to sell his loaves, and the other time while returning back with his empty basket, having sold all the loaves. It was the sound of his bamboo stick that woke the children up. The children were so excited to meet him and choose from the bread bangles he made specially for them. While the bangles were for children, loaves were for the adults that were generally collected by the maid servant. The baker made his musical entry on the scene with the jang jang sound of his specially made bamboo staff. Staff is the stick. One hand supported the basket on his head and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. So the baker often made a musical entry with his bamboo stick. His one hand supported the basket on his head while the other banged the bamboo on the ground. He would greet the lady of the house with good morning and then place his basket on the vertical bamboo. We kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke. Rebuke means scold, and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. But we would not give up. We would climb a bench or the parapet and peep into the basket somehow. Parapet means railing. Okay. So I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves for elders and the bangles for the children. Then we did not even care to brush our teeth to wash our mouths properly. And why should we? Who would take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf for the toothbrush? And why was it necessary at all? The tiger never brushed his teeth. Hot tea could wash and clean up everything so nicely after all. The narrator further says that the baker would go house to house and greet the ladies before handing them over the loaves. The parents would scold the children and make them stand aside, but as eager as they were, they would climb a bench or the wall to peep into the basket. They did not even bother to brush their teeth before having those bread bangles because it seemed unnecessary effort for them to pluck mango leaves from the branches to use them for brushing the teeth. As in those days, the people used to brush the teeth with the mango leaves and etc. They considered brushing unnecessary because the hot tea could effortlessly wash their mouth, and they thought that animals, they gave the example of the animals that even the tiger never brushed their teeth. Marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl, just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread. Not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Cakes and bolinas are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. Thus, the presence of the baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. The narrator further tells that the village baker was especially important for all occasions. The villagers were much fond of the sweet bread known as bol. Marriage gifts were meaningless without these sweet breads. Sandwiches, cakes, and bolinas were a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. These were made with the bread. Thus, the presence of a baker's furnace was very essential in each village. On all occasions, the villagers needed one or another type of cake which could be baked in the furnace. So, in this way, from sweet breads at marriages to sandwiches at engagement parties and cakes and coconut cookies at Christmas as well as other occasions, makes the presence of a baker in every village very essential. The baker or bread seller of those days had a peculiar dress known as the kabai. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to the knees. In our childhood, we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trousers which were shorter than full length ones and longer than half pants. Even today, anyone who wears a half pant which reaches just below the knees invites the comment that he is dressed like a padre. Here, the narrator tells us about the special sort of dress worn by the bakers. Bakers were known to have worn unique knee length frock dresses, typically known as kabai. In the narrator's childhood days, he had seen them wearing the shirts and the pants whose length was shorter than the usual ones. Mean the pants that they used to wear were longer than the half pants and shorter than the full length pants. It was part of their identity so much so that even if someone wears the trouser length now, he is said to have dressed like a baker or pader, as was said in olden time. The baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. Monthly accounts used to be recorded on some wall in pencil. Baking was indeed a profitable profession in the old days. So, the narrator also tells about the way they used to make their monthly record. The baker had a way of making monthly record of bills on a wall using a pencil and then collecting the money at the end of the month. Baking has always been a profitable profession. The baker and his family never starved. He, his family, and his servants always looked happy and prosperous. Their plump physique was an open testimony to this. Even today, any person with jackfruit like physical appearance is easily compared to a baker. So, narrator tells us that the baker's family and workers have always been happy and joyous. The baker was usually fat, which was proof that he had a lot to eat and hence was a proof of his richness. Even to this day, someone with a well built body is compared to a baker. So, this is how Lucio Rodriguez portrayed the baker of Goa in a very brilliant way. Thank you and have a nice day.